Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. An Hour with Dave. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to An Hour with Dave again on this Monday. It's beautiful out there. It's a little warm for me, but it's beautiful. I have a couple of things I want to talk to you about, but I want to bring a topic up to you. When people talk about, I want to talk about hate and, and the difference that people are claiming on racism, et cetera, et cetera. First, I want to talk to you about pure ignorance and stupidity and how people claim things. And here's, on the way here to the show, there's a young man laying on the street. Obviously, he was, I don't want to put his picture out because I don't want him to see, and I didn't get it in time to the producers here so they can block out his face. But he was Hispanic, probably in his 25 years of age in that area. Now, this young man was laying in the street for about a half hour. As people went past him to the store, back past him again, then they just looked at him, and tons of people just kept walking by while this young man was laying in the street and was unresponsive. I tried to wake him up and I couldn't. Here's my point. You know how every time they sit here and they claim racism and hatred and nobody cares? You sons of bitches were walking past this kid, going to the store to get your cigarettes, your blunts, your K2 and everything else, and you walked past this man and you left him laying in the sun. You couldn't even pour a little bit of water on him. So I did a test. I said, you know what? Maybe, like they claim, white people did this to him. So I started looking around. The white people weren't underneath the cars. They weren't underneath the trash and that's on the alleyways. They weren't hiding behind trees, or we don't really have trees, but telephone poles. I didn't find white people anywhere. What I found was a bunch of ignorant sons of bitches that are out there walking past. But if I thought to myself, I wonder how many of these same people with all their phones and all their video technology and all the nonsense that they do, if it would have been 2 or 3 white people laying around this guy and trying to wake him up and trying to get him help, how many of them would have filmed it and put it on the news and on all kinds of podcasts saying, look what the white people are doing to this guy? And it probably would have went national, easy, because there was white people doing it to him. But that his own people was walking past him, nothing's being done about it. You didn't claim anything. I wonder how many of yous are, it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or Republican, how many of yous are human beings with a heart? How many of yous claim to be Christians? How many of yous, because I know personally people that I know that would have stopped, because I did, would have stopped everything they did just like I did, and almost made it late to my show to make sure that this kid was breathing and got some help. How many of you claim and then to top it off, the same people that were hanging around finally when rescue got it, yeah, he lives down here and his family lives over there, and he was over there smoking with everybody the K2. But meantime, while the kid was laying in that hot, scalding sun, nobody knew him. I mean, think about that. Think about how you got up in your pajamas at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you walk into the store and you women haven't even changed the pajamas from the day before. And having the poor kids walking past this guy laying in the street. And you guys who are sweating all over the place, stop blaming the white people, because I'm getting really tired of you saying white people are doing stuff to you, because you're doing it to yourself. I drove by. I'm telling you, I drove by. I'm going to do a series White people, where are they? That's what the series, I'm going to do a series, say, white people, where are they? Because I'm still growing my beard that I haven't cut off. I'm going to keep my hair going long. I'm going to rent a horse and ride up and down North Philadelphia saying, the white people are not coming, the white people are not coming, just to see how many of you react. Because I'm sick and tired of you claiming racism, claiming that the Republicans hate you and the Democrats love you and back and forth. They both hate you. They're both using you. And you're too stupid to realize that they're doing that. And if you don't like it, tough, like my show says. It's my show. It's an hour with Dave. You don't like it, change the damn channel. I don't care. It's not, that comment is my comment. It's not useless. It's not useless opinion. It's mine. It ain't got nothing to do with anybody in Usula. It's David Torres who is telling you you're about as ignorant as they come. And if you don't like it, tough. Send me an email. Send me something on my page. I got a Rumble page. Freedom, not tyranny. Look it up. Send me a message. I don't care what the hell you think. Put it on. I don't care. Because you're stupid and you're ignorant. You're probably sitting there waiting for food stamps or another stimulus check while that man was laying on the floor. So, anyway, I'm going to move on to my regular show that I was going to have. But remember, look for the series. White people, where are they? Because I'm going to put it out there. And if you don't like the idea of it, I might change from white people, where are they, to where are the Hispanics? Where are the blacks? Where's Al Sharpton? Where's NAACP? Where's all the programs for Hispanics? Because they're getting millions and millions of dollars on your dumb ass. Anyway, before my producer has a heart attack and my engineer starts to sweat, let me change the subject because they get nervous when I'm around. All right, so I want to talk to you today about the border situation. People have been coming up to me with this border nonsense. And they're saying, what's going on? You know, what's happening with the border? But you know what's happening with the border. You may not even know the border goes along Texas and, you know, it divides Mexico and Texas. You may not know all that because, you know, you missed that class in school. Okay, so I can excuse that you don't know that Texas is part of the United States and it connects into Mexico. I'll let that one go. What's happening in the border is that now we got a different party in. And I'm going to tell you again, the Democrats and the Republicans do not care about you. They're using you, and I keep telling you that. They're using you and they're playing you. And your dumb ass is following them. Because the Republicans have the head of the Republicans right now, his wife and him own ships that bring the products from China. And the same products that you're going to buy. You know, when you got that stimulus check and it was for you to get food in the house and pay your bills, and you went and bought a flat screen TV and a $1,200 phone, you know that check, right? Well, the man that brings in a lot of that shipment is the head of the Republican Party. And he's making money off of you because his wife owns the ships. So you really think that man's going to fight the fact that that China is taking advantage of us? Of course not. You think the Democrats, what happened? Wasn't AOC, was it AOC? Am I saying that right? AOC?
AOC.
Yeah, I'm that dizzy thing. AOC, who was at the fence and gate and kneeling down crying, they're drinking out of toilets. They're drinking out of toilets. Where is she? You got rooms that were set up for 50 people having 200 in them. You know what it reminds you of? I want you to look it up, freeze that picture, and then go back, okay? And look at what happened to the Jews in the concentration camps and see if there's something you see in both pictures that are like. Them kids are being raped. Them kids are not eating. They go a month or so without taking a shower. You don't hear no Democrats complaining. AOC is not kneeling down at the fence crying. Okay? Nancy Pelosi is not kneeling down with the African robe or the scarf all over her, kneeling down and then couldn't get the hell up. Remember that? You didn't have that. And you got no Republicans talking and saying anything. No Republicans. They're both doing it to you. Both parties are screwing you, and you're not getting it. What's going on in the border? The crisis is bad. People are bad. They're putting them out in the streets. They're not helping them. There's kids and people out there with COVID, especially Delta virus that's growing. And they're being spread all over the country. And then they're saying to you, COVID is rising. No shit, you're putting them out there. The number of people with COVID is going up. Well, you're busting them all over the place. I wonder if the places that are going up with the virus are people that are being bussed to them sites. See, these are the things that people are not paying attention to. These are the things that's hard for people to understand. And it's difficult for people to understand that. You need to stop letting them use you, both sides. You need to stop, not accept that this is the normal thing. It's not normal for a kid to be laying in the street. It's not normal for the drugs that are coming off over the border. It's not normal for the crime rate to be up. It's not normal for people to be burning buildings down. I want you to look around you and seriously think, when you're looking at your drug corner, like I did today and have been doing, how many white people selling drugs? How many? Do you think that the cartels that are in Mexico are white? Do you think that the guns that are coming off of the border that we're being shot with in the streets and kids dying at a young age, you think that's white people bringing them in the neighborhood? You think that the crime and the rapes and the home invasions and all these things that are happening out there, murder is up in the inner cities all over the country. Inner cities. Philadelphia, I believe, was number 3. Do we have any idea, Philip, what number we're at now? We still at number 3, or did we get the chance to move up in the crime? We're at number 2. Well, all you Philadelphians should be so proud of yourself and proud of your congressmen and proud of your people in city council. Should be proud of all the programs that are out there. And if you're Christian going to church, you should really be proud of yourself. Because we're number 2 in the country, from what my producer tells me. We were number 3, so we're moving up in the world. That's what's going on here. We got to stop letting people tell us the white people doing it, because there ain't nobody white in my neighborhood doing jack. We got to get ready to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on the hate, what's happening, and what's happening with jobs and blah, 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 blah. All right? And I'll see you back in less than a minute.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos, lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda, poco a poco aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Now that I laid in everybody in that last quick series about ignorance, let's go into the shots, the COVID shots everybody's asking for. Everybody's asking about what's going on. There's more and more people resistance. And now there's a big movement saying, the spread that's happening with COVID is happening because people who are not vaccinated. Okay? Well, if you believe that one, there's people that have had COVID. So if they had the COVID, they would have the antibodies. And listen, I'm not going to get on this too much because I'm not a doctor. And neither is the people in CNN, believe it or not. Neither is MSNBC, neither is Fox News, neither is a lot of these stations that are going in. Because all they're doing is, they get together, especially CNN and MSNBC, and, they get together and they make all these comments, okay? And they figure who they're going to get on in the beginning. But there is a thing called herd immunity. People got it. They survived. They were young enough. Their bodies were good. And then now they got over the COVID, so they would have the antibodies. And the antibodies that your body naturally produces is better than the shot that you're getting. So I hear. Well, if I had it and the antibodies that I naturally produce is better than, why in the world would I inject myself with a COVID-19 shot? If my kid had it or they're testing, they want kids to now have it at a young age, okay? Are they testing these kids to see if they had it, if they have it? Is their natural immune systems up? The T cells are up to be able to normally fight it? I mean, you wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. Well, the purpose of getting the shots, supposedly by your fearless president, because I respect the position, I don't respect the man that's in there. Okay, Sleepy Joe to me is Sleepy Joe, and that's all there's to it. But I respect the position of the presidency, the seat itself. It isn't nobody's fault that he cheated and they got him into the White House. Okay? Because he's a puppet. But anyway, skip that. So there's a lot of circumstances. And I think that the best thing for you, because of all the confusion and information, is to get research. But you do the research, because a lot of people are going to give you advice and be biased to the advice because that's the way they feel or they've been told to do. Why would I stick my child with something that's experimental? Why would I stick my child with something that he doesn't need if he can't catch it? Now there's people saying that that Delta is. I'm kind of afraid of Fauci because we don't know today if he agreed of what he said Friday. I don't know. I mean, a man comes in, the CDC tells you one thing, then they tell you another. The World Health Organization tells you one thing, then they tell another. And they're both of them don't give you the same information either. And I'm going to tell you something. I respect the lady from the CDC that's in charge of it because she at least tried to explain some of the things that were going on and some of the things that were being said. So come on, you got to give us credit where credit is due. But the best thing to do is to research yourself. And here's another thing that, you tell me that if I don't have proof of that I got vaccinated, check this out. If you're in New York City and some other states now, if you don't have proof that you were vaccinated, you can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to a sports event, okay? You can't sit down with your family if you don't have proof that you got the vaccination. Isn't that ironic that when we were having elections, the same people that are telling you you can't go eat unless you have proof, an ID, a proof, a documentation of who you are and that you had the shot, were the same people that didn't want you to have ID and didn't find it necessary for you to vote. Think about the pure ignorance of that. The same people that were saying you don't need an ID to vote are now telling you you need an ID to get something to eat. And you're listening to them. Listen to what's happening. All right? Elections are going to come up again. They're going to fight that it's illegal to ask somebody for an ID to vote. But go try to go with your family and try to sit down with your wife and 2 kids at a restaurant to eat. If you don't have proof that everyone's had their shot, you can't eat. Don't worry about it because, if you went to a Wawa, if you went to a pharmacy like Rite Aid's or something like that, and you try to CVS and you order a pack of cigarettes, they ask you for an ID. They ask you for an ID. Liquor stores, sometimes I ask you for an ID. Very rare. But if you want to vote and you're not legally here, you don't need an ID. So that's a problem there. But I want to go back to this COVID-19. They're telling you that you have to have these shots for certain things. Your kid won't be able to go to school. Your kid won't be able to. So you know what? I want to compare what the government's doing now to communist parties later on. You keep that thought in mind, okay? So they're telling you that you need to have these COVID-19 shots, even if you've had COVID-19 and you beat it, you got the T cells, you have the better antibody that your body produces. Now, here's another ironic thing. When they claim the right to an abortion and all the rights of the people, and you know what, I think that a woman has, it's her opinion, and she got with child or whatever the reason. The only time I approve or I think that we should mind our damn business, first of all, government needs to stay out of it, where a family should make the decision is if, you know what, a child's been raped, a woman has been raped, there's a tragical accident and the baby may need to be aborted or the person died. That's not my decision. And that's not the government decision. That should be the family's decision. We should give them, make sure that the abortion that's going to have for this person is the best that you could possibly have. The day after pill should be available. It's the best that they should have. The family should get all the support it needs to have. Yes, because but that's not my business and my decision. It should be the families and their religious beliefs and what's happening. Because I tell you, if I have a 13 to 14-year-old child that gets raped and she physically is able already to get pregnant, and she does, I don't want my 13-year-old child who's traumatized to have to carry 9 months either. That should be my decision and my belief, not anybody else's. Definitely not the government's. Okay? That's the only time I have a question about abortion. I do not approve of abortion. Okay? But how is it that we can have 50 somewhat million abortions in this country and they can claim my body, my right, just like I explained it. But it's not my body and my right if I don't want to take the shot. I can't go get something to eat in a restaurant because you're making it where I have to do what you want me to do with my body. This is the ignorance and the double standards, because you have no proof that I'm spreading it. You have no proof that I'm the one that's going to cause somebody to get sick. But I do have proof that if you had 2 abortions in 1 year, both of those are murder. So how is it that murder from an abortion, it's okay and you're fighting for it, but you're claiming that people who are not vaccinated are spreading the virus? Better be careful with the government telling you what to do. We got to take another. No, we don't. So you got to understand where they're coming from when they do certain things. You got to understand how they're manipulating you and how they're playing with you. And stop thinking Democrat, Republican. Both of them are playing with you. Both of them. We're going to get into the economy, and I'm going to show you how they're both playing with you. Both parties are playing with you. They're making money. Lots and lots and lots of money. The teachers union got tons of money all over the country. Because they need it, because everything that's happened with stimulus and blah, 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 right? All this bailout. And then they politically go and make super $2 million, $3 million donations to political people that they believe in. Your money, what they suckered you in thinking that they need. If you don't believe me, look at the race that's going on in California with the governor and see how much the teachers union donated. And that's the same union that came after you to get billions of dollars. They took your money and made it political. That's what they did to you. And you went along with it. This is a game that both parties are playing with you. It's time to end the 2-party system. I keep telling you that. It's time to tell the Democrats and the Republicans to take a hike. It's time to have time limits on these suckers. We need to open up the grounds and make the 2-party system time thing of history, a past, because they're using you. They're playing with you. When you see the economy and what I got to tell you about the economy, you're going to realize what I'm saying. And what I'm telling you now, look into it. Look into it. Look into what your freedoms are being taken away from you. And what's happening. And then look at the communist countries like China, like Russia, Korea, and find out what's the same thing what they have in common with what they're doing now. They tell you what you're going to learn in education. That's what they're doing now. They tell you what medication you're going to take. That's what they're doing now. They're limiting where you can go out. That's what they're doing now. So we're going to go on break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about what's going on. Keep in mind, if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you need to end the two-party system. Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. Welcome back, everybody, to An Hour with Dave. Again, I want you to realize that all the comments that are here are mine and mine alone, not the networks. Okay? I'm the one saying what I've got to say. It's my opinion. So don't confuse it. Don't blame anybody, because you know what? I'm not going to blame anybody. Nobody in the studio, nobody in this program, nobody on this network tells me what to say. It's just what I'm saying. And when I have a guest, it's what my guests say. It's not here. It's not Ursula. Ursula is not to do with my opinion. It's only mine and my guests. Okay? So if you have something you don't like, go to my Rumble site, Freedom Not Tyranny, and look me up, and you can write to me there and tell me that you objected to it, or you didn't like it, or you did like it. Frankly, I don't care if you don't like what I say. Again, it doesn't matter. Don't like it, change the channel. But if you're sitting here and you're listening, something's bugging you. And maybe it's because I'm telling you the truth that nobody else is telling you. That's where I'm at. That's where David Torres is at. I'm going to tell you, and if you don't like it, I was going to say something, but I know that I'm going to start getting things thrown at me from my producer. The economy, cost of living. Some people call it cost of living. Some people call it the economy. They tell you the economy is doing better. They had 9 million jobs or whatever they say they had. It's ridiculous. They just didn't tell you how many of them were part-time jobs, how many jobs that are jobs created, temp jobs that won't be around. So it's like the parties give you part of the information. They they tell you what's out on the surface. It make you think that they're doing better. And they tell you, the economy is getting better. But if you're working class person, and you're making, all right, let me say $15 an hour, and you went to the supermarket and you bought yourself a pack of hamburger, chances are that hamburger is going to cost you, if it's good grade meat, and depending on the size, I got to buy the family size. Chances are that burger is going to that ground beef is going to cost you like about $12, $13. Okay, so let's round it off to $10 for the sake of what I'm trying to get at. And then you want to buy yourself a couple steaks. To get some decent steaks, that might cost you $20. Okay? So just in them 2 pieces of meat, you're at about, if not over, when taxes and all hit you with, at $30. You would have had to work 2 hours of your 40-hour week to buy yourself and your family, if it's a family of 4 or 5, a steak dinner at home and some hamburgers to make meatballs and hamburgers and spaghetti sauce, blah, 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 blah. 2 hours. Now, do you believe the economy is doing better because they're giving you $15 an hour when it takes 2 hours of your money, your hard work, to get yourself a pack of hamburgers and a few steaks. You can't be that dumb. It's impossible that you don't see this. If you're a working person, trying to make rent, trying to pay your bills, trying to keep your phones going, everything has gone up. The economy is doing better, but they don't tell you, they don't talk about the gasoline that went up. 3 something. If you live here, 50 cents, it's 3 something a gallon. I would judge as saying, I don't have all the math in front of me, that out of that 3.49, 50 cents of it it's just in taxes that went up. But the economy is getting better. You're working. You're getting $15 an hour. Look how much more we're giving you a check. But did you realize that, damn, I got a raise and it's not meeting all my bills. I can't buy the cereal as much as I can. And you know what I used to get for $150 in a supermarket is now costing me $192.10. But I don't understand this. The economy is getting better. Why ain't this getting better with you? Why instead of paying $15 to get a half a tank of gas is now costing you $22? The economy is getting better. I don't understand you. I don't understand how you see what's going on, how they're lying to you. They're about to pass, I think it's a $1.9 trillion. Am I saying that right? Okay. Bill in Washington, Congress and the Senate, they want to pass this bill and make sure, I'm going to tell you now, they're passing the bill. It's going to pass. And that both parties are doing this to you. They're going to pass this bill for almost $2 trillion, where we're over $28 trillion in debt. They're going to pass that $2 trillion bill on before they go on their summer vacation. Why do you think they're in there all weekend long? Because they really want to work for you? You really think they give a shit about what you're doing out here and you're struggling for that hamburger and them steaks? No, they don't. They want to hurry up and pass that bill, both parties, so they can go home and have hamburgers and steak. And better watch that they don't, along with this bill they passed, they don't pass another thing to give themselves a raise. Because that's another little game they play. Around summer, around Christmas, they make sure one of them two parts of the year, they give themselves a raise. You got $15 and they just took that extra money off of you and then some on all the taxes and all the stuff that they raised up on you. So do you really think the economy is doing that good? They're going to pass that bill, and in that bill, originally they had ridiculous things. The thing is like almost over 2,000 pages of work. I mean, a ream of paper, if we have one around here, we'll show you. I think it brings, is it 1,000 or 500? For a ream of paper? 1,000? Is that right? Okay, so if a ream of paper brings 1,000, it's about yay thick, maybe an inch. If this thing is 1,000 or more, 2,500, okay, it brings 500. A ream of paper brings, for your copy machine or your computer, brings 500 sheets of paper. It's about an inch thick, or if not more, okay? Now, if this thing is 1,000 pages, this bill they're passing. Your congressman and your senator, both Republicans and Democrats, are telling you that they literally sat down and read this bill they're passing. Do you believe that they sat down and read 1,200 or 2,000 pages of a bill that they're voting on, saying yes, that you're going to be paying for and your kids are going to be paying for over and over again? Do you really think that they read that information? There's no way. I want you to call your senator and ask him what's on page 400 and see if that man has any kind of an answer for you, or that woman. Call your congressman and ask him what's in this part of the bill and see if they can answer it for you. Now ask them where they're going on vacation while you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay your bills off. And look up how much of that $30 trillion debt we're going to be in, how much of that debt goes to every single American man, woman, and child today. How much of that debt belongs to them? You have any clue? Any idea? You probably don't. You know why? Because you ain't paying attention. None of them bastards in Congress and in the Senate, Democrat or Republican, read that entire document. None of them. But they're voting on it, and you're paying for it, damn it. None of them read it. End the two-party system. End it. You have the power to vote. It's we the people, not we the government. They think they got their own constitution that goes we the government. They don't. Get all them old fogies that been there for 30 years. If they vote on this bill, don't vote for them next election. Because as soon as they pass it, you owe tons of money. If you don't care about yourself, look at your grandchildren, look at your children. Look at them and explain to them how you're not doing your job by voting and researching and letting this Congress and this Senate pass this, how you are responsible for their debt, how you put this on them, on your children, on your grandchildren, on your parents, their grandparents. Everybody is suffering except for Congress and Senate. They don't care about you. You're all being used, all of us, me included. I've been screaming about this, saying it over and over again. If that bill gets passed, you're at $30 trillion. Has the bill been passed yet? Not yet? It will be soon because they got to go away. How is it that you can now vote on proxy? Proxy. So what? You're being told you can't go to a restaurant? Your congressman and your senator can be on the beach, on vacation, and can vote either by the phone or have somebody vote for them in proxy. They don't even have to be there. You really think that they're going on vacation and they've read this 2,000 page document? If you think that, You deserve for this country to become communist. You deserve for the American flag to be taken off of the White House and the Chinese flag be raised on it. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. If you allow them to do this to you, you deserve what's coming down the pike. You do, not me, because I'm going to keep fighting it. And I'm going to keep arguing with it. And if you shut me down here, I'm going to find another avenue to do it with. I don't care if I got to get a blue what do you call it? What do you call them? Microphones, and stand in front of the White House and stand in front of Bullhorn. I don't care if I have to use that and stand in front of anywhere I got to stand and keep screaming. Because you ain't shutting me up no matter what you do. You're not shutting me up. I guarantee you. I don't care if it's Puppet Biden. I don't care if it's the head of the Republican Party. I don't care if it's Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to still say what I got to say. No one's going to shut me up. No one. I guarantee that. Because I don't want that bill to lay on my grandkids and my great-grandchildren and my godchildren, my nieces and nephews. I don't want them to be my neighbors. If you don't like it, teachers union don't like what I got to say about them, tough. Because sooner or later, I'm going to be in front of them schools, and I'm going to be at every teachers union meeting, and I'm going to have that bullhorn that they're telling me about. And while you're walking in, I'm going to be announcing the stupidity of you allowing them to do this. I don't care. This has got to stop. So next time you're thinking, I couldn't afford this dinner. Let me, instead of steak, I guess, we got to find some other. Maybe we can open up a can of Spam and shape it like a steak for a kid. You're not going to be able to afford McDonald's. You're not going to do it. And it's all going to be your fault because you voted for them. You allowed these bastards to stand there in Washington and pass this bill down. And I'm telling you that every Republican, never mind the Democrat, every Republican that agrees to this stimulus bill, I promise you on my soul that I'm going to put you out there. I'm going to make sure that everybody understands that you voted that debt in, along with every Democrat. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If I have to walk up and down streets and put flyers in people's doors in 2 different languages, I'm going to do it. You're not going to stop me. And I'm going to make sure that I'm in front of your offices and your doors, and I'm going to let everybody know what you did. This is not a warning. This is not a threat. It's a guarantee. David Torres guarantees that I'm going to be on your shit. Do we have to take another break? I'm going to take one more break, and then I'm going to come back and finish up my day. And I'm going to check to see if I got a few questions that came in, if I can answer some of them before I go off the air. But again, you can come to me. You can go to my Rumble page. Okay, Freedom Not Tyranny. And I have my website there, and you can come on and say what you have to say to me. It's cool. I don't have a problem with it. And, speak your piece, man. Speak your piece. Okay? See you in a minute.
Toma menos de 1 minuto saber si está usted en riesgo de padecer prediabetes. Puede averiguarlo aquí. Visite esta página.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is the last of the segment. I want to get quickly into, I'm going to get a few minutes. Um, quickly, I want to get into the challenge. When we have a challenge to Biden, not President Biden, not your president. Okay, I'm gonna keep him out of it. I don't want to ruin his beauty sleep. Hunter Biden and Trump Jr., where I challenged them to come on and let's see what their version of where the country's going is. So we can have like a kind of a fun debate. And let's see if any one of those two have the guts. Because I'm going to tell you now, if you have the guts to come on, I'm going to ask you some real hard questions. Both of yous. And you know, what's happening in the country. I'm going to take the country situation where we're at, and I'm going to hit you with the questions. And let's see if you have the guts. Either one of you two have the guts to come on to my show where I can question you. I'm going to be the only one on. I'm going to be the only one asking you the same questions to both of you. And let's see, Hunter Biden, Donald Trump Jr., do you have the balls? You haven't answered me yet. But I'm going to promise my audience now and the people that do this, the people that see it later, that I will be contacting both groups, both individuals, sending them emails and whatever, and challenging them to come on. You can follow it again on my website, Freedom Not Tyranny. Look it up, and you'll be able to understand what's going on. And there's a lot of things that are being worked on. Freedom Not Tyranny, that's going to be positive for information for you. I'm trying to set it up where you can literally go in and see what I've said, and these are the areas that you can look it up. Okay? All right. Now, I said that I want to talk about. Do you have any questions?
No questions, just everybody is agreeing with you, basically.
Agreeing.
Jacqueline Aurora says, good afternoon. Faith Childs says hello. Luis Rivera is also saying that now this is a conversation we all should have. Jacqueline Aurora also says, thank you for all the informative information you share with us. And everybody else is in agreement to what you're saying.
All right, so we're going to go now to the crime, and part of what I want to talk about. There are individuals that have come to my attention that are in these different types of programs through whatever it may be, recovery, abuse, different types of programs, where these young ladies are recovering, may have about 2 years, 3 years of clean time, and then they go into these housing programs, and they're stuck in these areas where you stick them in with a child, and they're in these housing programs, but then you're putting them right in where the drugs are, the shootings are, and I'm going to be interviewing these people as soon as I talk to Philip, where we can, if they're calling in and zooming in, we can block out their faces, because I don't want anybody to, some of these women come from, been abused. They got off the streets. They're doing what they need to do. They're trying to get their lives together. They got 3 years of sobriety. Why in the world will you stick them somewhere where you know all the drugs and everything is going on? Why would you do that? You know why that happens? Because if he or she screws up, especially she's alone, she's with a child, and you stick her where the drugs are at, the shootings are at, blah, 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 okay? You know how hard it is for that young girl to make it? And then you put them in these situations, these young teenagers, boys who are trying to get their lives together. You got nothing for them. Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing out there for them. But you stick them in these situations that you know these young girls, it's going to be hard for them. So they got away from all this, and now they got to run and grab their child and lay on the floor while the shooting's going on. And the drugs are being around. You know you're doing this. Why are we paying for this? Why isn't there a system that honors? If they're trying to pay back their debt to society, for every year that they've gotten clean and they haven't gotten in trouble and they moved up in this program, let's say they owed $3,000, you make them do reciprocity for. Okay, to me, they're making their payments, and after a year being clean, it should be 1/3 of their fine is off. You get to the second year and they're making the payment, and they're clean. There goes the second quarter of their debt, and then by that time, the credit for all the stuff that they've paid, they should only have 1 or 2 months to pay on in the system, so they're completely out of debt, and they pay their thing to society, and damn it, give them a home, help them to get back together, get all the support structure around them. Oh my God, could we figure out how not to make taxpayers for the rest of their life pay for these people? Wow. We have Congress people in there for 15, 20 years in Congress and Senate and can't figure out, or in city council, and can't figure out how not to put this bill on the taxpayers and help these young women get their lives together finally. Oh my God, could it be possible that it could be something that simple? If you have a person who's been in housing for 20 years, and we're paying every single month their rent in this housing program, or their rent, or they're not paying anything. And then that person passes away and it goes to their family members. And every year, the taxpayers are paying for it. Why? Why don't you just give them the damn house? Put them in a program that they pay. They set up the program where you're going to be in here, and in 5 years, we expect you to learn how to hold a bank account. I know they used to do that in school, but you know how the educational system is. Dare we ask the teachers union to teach somebody how to run a checking account? Teach them how to after the economy, how to take care of the home, how to look for the resources, get them a job training. And if they do all these things that they had to do in this program for 5 years, and they haven't broken any other law, and they pay their debt to society, and they did everything they had to do, and they finished the program so they don't have no more debt here, and you got a job, and you're doing everything, oh my God, give them the damn house. And then they get them into a program that they pay $15, $20 a month, $10 a month, that they pay into this program, because obviously they did what they had to do to get ahead. And that money could be used so they could stay in this housing, be in this program, and that helps them with the maintenance. And the taxpayers don't have to accept the burden anymore. You can use some of that taxpayers' money to build more houses to help people be a part of America. Learn what the freedom is. Own your piece of the pie. Oh my God. Can Senate come up with something like that, or Congress? Are you seriously accepting city council, Senate, and Congress to bullshit you like that? It's happening today. People in there for 15, 20, 30 years. So wonder why Congress and the Senate are there that long. Because it's happening right in front of your eyes and you're too stupid to realize it. You know how much of a tax release that is for the American people? And how you can give somebody a dream? Well, why should they dream? You ain't taking up nothing. It doesn't cost them anything. So our show is going to cut. We're down to 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. I want to say goodbye to everybody and see you guys next Monday. God bless you.